jokes. Wait, that's not wrong show. Stealing that shit from somebody. And of course, the hat, right? Jesus Christ. But people, it is a midweek chat attack where we didn't make you guys wait for it this time around. I'm actually happy about that. But here we are, doing the midweek on a good old-fashioned, beautiful Wednesday. Ganja, how you doing, sir?
Man, fuck Wednesday, man. It's been snowing all day today. Fucking cold. Woke up to 0 degrees weather. Fuck that.
Man.
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. You okay? You want me to send you
I'm sorry I don't come from the fucking frozen north like you do, Santa Claus.
You know how cold it is today, man?
You know how fucking cold it is for me? It's fucking 72 degrees today. I woke up with a slight shiver down the back of my fucking... Like, I mean, it was like... Ooh, that was...
I don't want to hear you. A mile a day is fucking 60, so don't even tell me that.
I know, and then apparently, Allie, she got 2 inches of snow going on. Holy shit, right? Like, goddamn.
Oh, yeah.
It's been rough.
It's so rough. Everyone's just like, let's shut down the whole town.
Yeah, man, but no, and over here, too...
Man, when you said 2 inches of snow, I don't know if Alan thought the same thing, but all I heard in my head was that fucking Canadian rapper, Informer.
Down.
No, I don't remember a single fucking word for that song. So I don't know how to...
Was he even saying fucking words?
What are lyrics to that song? I think he's talking about stabbing some guy down the... Or some,
all right. I actually know it because what it is he grew up in a heavy Jamaican neighborhood in Toronto, which go figure there was a heavy Jamaican neighborhood in Toronto that this white boy happened to fall in the middle of. And basically what happened was he got charged for stabbing somebody that snitched on him for a crime. And that whole song is about his life, but he has such a thick Jamaican accent that everyone here just knew Informer and Boogie Down and thought it was about just dancing and just random music. And there's actually a long lyric about him just being a gangster, stabbing people, talking about he's real. It's basically the white version of Lil Wayne, except less audible, if you can believe it.
Informer, yeah, man.
You're so lyrics if you want a good fucking laugh, man.
Well, no, the song itself, and I'm playing over here really quick, but people are enjoying this in the chat, most likely. They can hear it. I know you guys can't. But this video is fucking ridiculous, man. I thought this was Vanilla Ice, actually.
The 90s, man. Like, this is like every video in the 90s.
Can you believe that this man was harder than Vanilla Ice?
Okay,
no. That's not saying much, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Vanilla Ice got punked out a lot, dude. Both in records and in public. Like, I don't know if this is still true or not, but I heard that Suge Knight literally dangled him over a balcony at one point.
I believe it.
When the lawsuits were happening.
I mean, I approve it.
Nick would have been below. Drop him! Drop the motherfucker!
Yeah, man. No, apparently, yeah, he did do some shit to Vanilla Ice, and I don't know if Vanilla Ice actually talked about that. But that shit's hilarious, and maybe they made up at this point too, because there's pictures over here with these guys hanging out, like, oh yeah, look at people, I'm safe. Look at this shit. I got an Apple phone, or what the fuck is that kind of phone?
That's a razor, man. An Apple phone.
Yeah,
first of all, that's the face of some white boy that got Stockholm syndrome. Like that, I'm pretty sure if there's like a bunch of prisoners that took in that photo, and you just look at the white boy in the mirror, like, yeah, he's her bitch at night. He's the fluff pillow.
Oh, the fluff pillow. Damn.
The fluff pillow, Japanese style, bro. Order an email.
No, people. We're not doing that. We're not gonna be making fun of Vanilla Ice and his bruised ass. We're not doing that. But we will be talking about a few things, and you guys can see on the side over here, we're talking Suicide Squad. You know, I thought it was going to be a sequel, but apparently it's not. It's an animated movie that Alan actually told us about in the Google Docs and things like that. We got an alien game made by a fucking company that I have no idea who the fuck they are. I spent all day searching who the fuck these people are. I have no idea what they are. Nightmarchers. We'll discuss that. Keanu Reeves actually doing some directing and show running. Very, very surprised about that. And then, of course, we're doing both Pixel Picks and Flex and Chill as my boy, Alan. Well, we'll say that for later. You guys will figure that out. But I will say, if you guys want to hear some yelling and lots of fighting and shit like that, make sure to stay here to the very, very end, because that Flex and Chill is going to be some shit. That's going to be some good stuff, boy.
I'm not even looking forward to that, man.
Oh, I know you're not, man. But you know what, though, dude? I mean, you're the odd man out when it comes to this particular thing. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Lately, I've been the bad guy, but, man, maybe people are gonna hate Alan, or people might hate me, Ganja, and Allie. Who knows?
Man, what are you talking about? I'm the fan favorite.
Oh, by the way, you didn't even watch this particular movie. I forgot about that.
No,
he'll still find a way to get against me.
Hey, no, honestly, I did not watch the movie you guys are hinting at because you guys were like, "Hey, let's watch so and so," and I was literally playing a game. It was one of my few days off that I was just zoning out, not doing anything, and I was like, "Do I want to watch this movie with them?" Nah, fuck it. I didn't actually know what movie y'all watching. I thought it was just like some fun movie that we're not gonna talk about on the show. When I realized today, I was like, "Oh fuck." We could all talk about it on Flex and Chill. I was a little disappointed, but then I remember.
Don't worry, man. You're
then
good.
I remember Alan talking about it, and I was like, "Wait, yeah, I didn't miss out on shit."
Missed greatness.
Yeah,
No, you
Man,
did not. You
I
missed those-
got nothing.
man, this
Fucking
isn't no
nothing.
Heather shit either, people. This is like something kind of new that came out this last year. I wish, honestly, this would have been on my top 10 if I had watched it a little bit sooner. But anyways, aside from that, if you guys want to know what that is, make sure to stick it on here. Stick it on here. Stay tuned. Stick to the something on here, whatever the fuck. But the thing is, people, usually I be going back and forth with the Double Toasted Chat, but the Double Toasted Chat ain't doing shit today. I'm looking over here in the Double Toasted Chat room. It's empty as shit, other than Ruthless talking about some promos he's been writing, which is awesome. I can't wait to actually read those. I don't know what those are for. Maybe at some point
Oh,
we
I
can
actually
discuss
know
what that
it
is.
is. He does a wrestling show with, I think it's the WWE 2K something engine, one of the games that WWE always releases. You know, the ones that are trying to be SmackDown versus Raw
Oh, yeah.
from back in the old days.
Yeah.
And he does actually a little show with it. He goes all the way out, a lot of editing with the rings. He developed storyline characters. Me and Jenny have actually done characters for it. I played I forget the last name.
Oh,
but-
I played a character too. I know what you're talking about now.
Oh, who are you? Because I'm Donovan, who's the mean manager.
Yeah, I forgot who I am, but basically he has long blonde hair, and I'm like a huge kiss ass. Like, I forgot his name. I actually hate my character, Ruthless. Give me a badass. Don't make me play that motherfucker, man.
Man, that's too easy for you. You got to play a heel or a bitch. Like, honestly, Nick, if we were gonna do a parody of wrestling, I would make you Goldust
Oh, fuck
or a
you.
Goldust character, because I will keep your attitude, but keep like the flair and glamour of Goldust. So it just doesn't make no fucking sense when we have interactions with you.
People, if you guys know
Just
who
like
Goldust is. Oh, wait, what'd you say?
Just like real life.
Man, fuck you. But yeah, people, I'm sorry I had on Gonja the whole time, but no, this is Goldust over here if you guys are curious.
I'm glad it'll give me a chance to fix my hat.
I can't.
Live.
Yeah, he's saying I'm supposed to be him. I do not
Look,
see it at all.
all right, you're
Yo,
such an
with the
angry-
hair,
look,
man, you could do it.
I'm not talking about being flamboyant, you know, just being like all, you know, about gay about it. I'm talking about just keep your same demeanor as Nick Diaz, but just be fucking flamboyant in your outfit.
Is that a girl, a guy, or are they gonna make out?
No, that's Nick Diaz, bro.
You fucking asshole. Anyways, people, if you want to know more about Goldust, we actually discussed Goldust a hell of a lot the last couple of wrestling shows that we just did on
For
Recent
some
Hangouts.
reason.
Definitely.
Alan, you'll be Triple H with all the hate you get.
No shit, yeah.
H?
And he's Canadian too, so that's perfect. Or is it Canadian? I don't know.
If y'all don't get these references, then y'all need to check out the Ringside Hangout, because I'm pretty sure they explain this and a lot more every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even on Martin Luther King Day. They have no respect for anyone.
And even on days where they don't even exist, we just find days in the middle of other days.
If
Okay,
motherfuckers find a way to do a show on leap year.
As long as I could do Triple H with the hair, because he's big, strong in his hair.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right, if you're Triple H, what would Allie be? If like, because we're on a wrestling segment, y'all, and I'm pretty sure y'all so confused about it, especially if you're not. Like Jenny, for example, she just said I'm confused, and I agree, because if you're not a fan of wrestling, you don't know what the fuck we're doing. But this is for all the people that honestly watch the Ringside Hangouts that are getting a little bit of a treat, because we do know a little bit of wrestling, because we've been hanging out with this motherfucker for 2 years now, and you just pick up shit with your friends.
Yeah,
And my question is, would Allie be a diva, or would she be like Stephanie McMahon as a manager?
Stephanie McMahon. She would be the one that's telling people what to do.
No, she's
and then
not
she
evil
starts
enough.
screaming.
Yeah, Allie's not evil enough for that though.
she'd be like kind of like Bailey, where it's like she can fight,
But she's not gonna hug around people. I don't think Allie's the one that just hugs random
Yeah.
But she can still fight. Like Allie's not gonna be sitting there ripping people's hearts out. Like,
people. Well,
That you know of.
I mean, unless she's drunk.
Oh man, yeah, no. Allie, I actually think would just be her own new character, be like the female Undertaker, especially when she had those one photos where she was out there in the garden and everything.
Oh
trench
my
coat.
god, that was hilarious,
Man,
bro.
it's
Yeah,
Yo,
she's like a
Allie-
horror movie
Allie,
villain.
You know we're real homeboys, because I wanted to make fun of you on Facebook, but I was like, no, I don't want to start at the bandwagon. I'm gonna message her privately and make fun of her.
the funniest thing in the world is God just says that photo, and he's like, "Oh man, the Undertaker's out," and I didn't think anything of it because it looked like the Undertaker. I was like, "Yeah, okay, what's the big deal?" It wasn't until 2 hours later that someone told me that was Allie. I started freaking out, like, "Oh shit, that's a good photo."
Yeah, but I mean, it was a great photo though. It's just the trench coat, man. Like you should kill somebody right after you put that fucking.
Hey,
thing on.
look, Paige got knocked the fuck out recently by Sasha. And Allie, if you learn some wrestling moves, you got a chance to be the female Undertaker. He didn't really wrestle that good either. Look at his tapes.
Yeah.
No, I'm good, fam.
Or that's a great Halloween costume.
Look, think about it this way. If you do it right, you get a show on E right under the Divas label. You'll be a new cute character. Everyone's going to be fascinated with you. When the population on WWE starts to die down, you start to do movies, right, like John Cena's doing. Then you transition like The Rock, and by the time you're 40, you're in blockbuster movies, Allie. Follow the
there's
path
Allie
that's
right
been laid to you.
Yeah, Allie coming in right now. She's like, "Oh, bring on the money!" Oh my goodness. By the way, too, I mean, you're very, very attractive and everything, but it's like, yeah, I know we just compared you to this motherfucker with the big forehead, the biggest forehead of all time.
Hey, Allie, you can grow your forehead for a good check, right?
Oh,
How do you grow a forehead? She just shaves her head?
I don't know. Ask this motherfucker. It grew over his career.
Man, can we leave this poor woman alone? Goddamn. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, leave the Undertaker alone.
Yeah.
Leave $1 million wrestler alone who's fucking bathing in cash.
Oh my goodness. No, I'm saying leave Allie alone. We keep calling her. We keep basically saying her forehead's huge like the Undertaker's. Like no one's head's that big.
Said that. You said that.
I did not say that shit. Oh, but people know. So yeah, the Undertaker. Which, by the way, next week, once again, I might as well bring this up too. We might actually
You're gonna do a real plug now.
No, like actually, because next week we might be watching the 25th anniversary of Raw on a Rabbit together. So I mean, I know we always have viewing parties on Saturday nights and things like that, but next Monday I might be starting one. So Ruthless, I know you always do those yourself. If you want to come and join us, whatever the case may be, we can all get together, watch some wrestling, talk shit. And if you don't like wrestling, make sure to come in and be confused like Jenny is right now.
Don't worry, Gotcha. We'll crash it, man. We'll just start playing loud music, man. We're gonna crash that so hard.
No, I'm just gonna go in there and just screaming and hollering the whole time, like one of those randos we get in the Rabbit sometimes in the after hours.
But the thing is, people is like, we can continue talking about this, and that's great, and I would love that. But then again, you guys don't want to do it because you guys want to have us bring up topics that you can add on because you might actually want to get into the call at some point, which I'm not guaranteeing that you'll come in, but we'll see what happens if you're able to come in at some point during tonight's show. And if you do, there is rules to follow if you guys get into the call. So before we even get to that point, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get into the call. Now, obviously, the Double Toasted chat is a little dead right now. I just showed it a little bit ago.
Show us that mass graveyard one more time.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like the crickets are just going up in here. It's probably because Double Toasted, they're not doing a live show tonight because there's no movie review extravaganza. That's why we're here, to keep you entertained. So, going right back to the YouTube chat over here, if you guys want to, just let us know in the YouTube chat that you want to come onto the show, and make sure to message either the Midnight Chat Attack page or one of our personal Facebooks. If you guys message us in the personal Facebook, we'll give you a link. You come to the call, and you will be able to join us in discussing nerd culture and shit like that. But before you do that, though, there is some rules, like I said earlier, and Ganja Guru, you're there to tell them what these motherfucking rules are.
I've been here for a few years and a half, baby, and I don't fail you. I might fuck up the script once in a while, depending on how much reefer I smoke before the show and if I drink water, but I keep doing the rules for you. For example, rule number 1, newcomers join the call first, baby. We're all about those new, fresh-smelling faces people haven't seen in a while or just popping up for the first time. So hit me, Allie, or Alan inside the PM boxes on Double Toasted, or if you can't get on Double Toasted, go down to the Facebooks and hit us up there, and we'll let you in. Rule number 2, do not talk over each other, guys. Or do fucking scat, because you are not the scat man, and you do not beat up, bop, 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 and all that good shit. All right, you did it right that time, but you can't do that because it's ruined audio quality, Nick. They don't want to hear your scat. They want to hear our conversation, our jokes, and our unawkward time jokes, right, Alan? So, guys, please do not talk over each other. Rule number 3, please no nudity, folks. This is a staple rule of YouTube, and as YouTube gets more and more strict with their guidelines on how they pay us, they're going to probably make this a Bible verse at this point. So, keep the titty and the dick inside your pants or in your shirt because YouTube will kick us off, and we don't want that. Rule number 4, do not give anyone else the link. We have a planned show that includes it comes on for certain topics, subjects, or just certain types of conversations. So, you hand out the link to anyone else, your ass is getting kicked, and so is their dumbasses for clicking it. Rule number 5, read the rules, and Alley Girl, I hope your mother isn't there, and that sounds fucked up.
Don't be a dick.
Yes!
No, her mom's here.
It was a little whisper dick, but it still was a dick
little whisper
nonetheless.
dick?
Yeah, God is used to that.
Aww. You told me you were gonna look when I walked through the room naked. You told me.
That was Nick. I promised nothing.
So do you see my dick or Nick's dick? There's a lot of dicks you're looking at.
Man, this is way too many dicks for me to even keep track of.
That was a weird night in New York, man.
Oh my goodness. I like how BBM's laughing because he's like, yeah, it's still scatting. It's like, I'm sorry. And by the way, scatting, like, it means a different thing nowadays because the internet having to make everything fucking disgusing and pornographic.
Wow, we were talking about dicks and somehow you made it more disgusting.
Man, we're gonna get there anyways. He said more scatting.
Yo, man, y'all want to hear about this shit story real quick?
He says, the fuck is a whisper dick? A common whisper dick?
I don't ask what gotcha means anymore. I just kind of roll with it.
Nah, man. It's just that dick you play on when you listen
Dude,
to
you even, like, held up your hand like, yo, it's a whisper dick.
Little whisper dick.
Yes.
All right, I know we sound stupid just laughing our asses off, but broke black man just put in the chat, can a woman get preggo from a whispered dick?
Whisper dick. It's a very subtle kid. Like,
And I don't know how to respond to that.
Easy, quietly.
Actually, like, this is a question. There's like so many like other questions. This is actually like coming up too. Is like, okay, like, can a smaller dick not have as many kids as a bigger dick? Like, you know, like I don't know.
It works at all.
Oh my god.
We're not discussing this,
No.
but that's not how it works at all.
Oh man, I'm putting this on the nudity category. Fuck this topic, bro.
All right, sweet.
I'm not gonna explain to the DT community how babies are made.
Man, you got fucking Discovery Sex Ed, a fucking YouTube channel right now. Google that shit.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I apologize for all this stuff, but let's just get into the nerdy shit, because none of us are gonna be using our dicks despite these kind of conversations. So, moving right on, Suicide Squad held to pay exclusive trailer debut. Now, I didn't actually watch the trailer because I was like, you know what, I don't want this to be, because it's gonna be out soon. So I kind of don't want too much to be spoiled because that Justice League Dark movie that we watched, I feel like that was spoiled to me hardcore.
It was just, even then, it was just kind of like.
Yeah, man.
These do get spoiled kind of easily, but like, there really is not much to tell, honestly, from this trailer.
Yeah, man, because I'm up here and it's on IGN, and hopefully this will actually play for me. And actually, it is. I'm surprised, finally. Or no, it's an advertisement. Well, fucking A, people. And by the way, too, IGN, this shit needs to stop, okay? There's way too much goddamn random advertisements playing. Okay, actually, it's the right advertisement. What the fuck? Anyways, this over here, as you guys can see, is a very nice-looking Suicide Squad anime. Yeah. Or not even anime, just a cartoon, you know. I'm just so used to watching anime now. I just say everything's anime, but it's not. I gotta tell you, dude, do you think this is going to somehow switch people's opinions on the Suicide Squad property in general? Because this looks kind of dark. They're actually doing a lot of shit here, man.
It's strange because when I'm watching this looks like the exact same thing as Assault on Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that basically was just, you know, a Suicide Squad movie set in the Arkham Asylum universe, but to me it's like, I feel like they're doing a similar version of that, because clearly this isn't the same. This is a sequel to Assault on Arkham, because half that cast gets wiped out at the end, and clearly not, because you still have a lot of the cast there. But it feels like they're doing this based on how, you know, Suicide Squad 2 is probably going to come out soon. This feels like advertisement for it, and honestly, it looks okay. The animation looks nice, but it's just, I hate Harley Quinn so fucking much. So the idea of just watching another Harley Quinn movie, I don't know if I'm going to watch this, just because I can't stand that fucking character so much. But Killer Frost is cool.
Yeah, I know Killer Frost, I guess, looks cool, but what do you feel about looking at this, man?
Honestly, man, I have no feelings whatsoever because you guys are like, oh, is this going to make people feel better about the Suicide property? Maybe when it comes to DC animation, because they have a better hit-to-miss ratio when it comes to a lot of these things. But honestly, when it comes to the movies themselves that are being released by Warner Brothers, they're constantly going to be making references to the old series, as well as, you know, making their own separate Harley Quinn movie with I think they're actually talking about bringing Margot Robbie on, if I'm not mistaken, right, Ali, at one point?
For the animated?
No, for the actual live action one.
For the live action, well, yeah, well, she's Harley Quinn.
See, so like everyone's like, oh, is this gonna save the Suicide Squad property? I highly doubt it when we started dealing with movies like that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, Allie, what do you think about this so far?
I mean, it's another DC animated movie. Like,
yeah.
Okay, it'll either be good or it'll be terrible.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So, you know, I mean, hey, Assault on Arkham was extremely, really good. So, this could be, you know, a really good Suicide Squad movie, but I don't have high hopes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame you, but the thing is, I mean, if people are wondering what this is about, actually, it seems as though this is going to be like a DC villain version of It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. Have you guys actually ever seen that movie?
No, what's it about?
You know, so basically, it's this old school movie. I forgot when it came out, but basically, the movie was about these all these people are trying to get to a spot. They're racing to get to this thing where there's a shit ton of money, and I don't think there's actual proof that the money's actually for sure going to be there. But what happens is the movie's like 3 fucking hours long, and they're just killing each other and flying planes and taking trains and taxis and all this shit.
Wait,
and
isn't that Rat Race?
Sorta. Like, I mean, what's a rat race? Like, I thought
Rat Race is with Mr. Bean and a bunch of other people, and basically a bunch of these rich guys say, okay, we're gonna sponsor a bunch of, you know, randos to go across the world to this random place, and inside this locker there's a key that has a lot of money, and you have to figure it out. So they give you the keys, like, okay, you guys figure it out, and they drop, like, they're in the middle of nowhere, and everyone has to find their own way across the country to try to figure it out.
Yeah, and I
his
guess
ass off.
I'm laughing because right now Nick is doing some hardcore airbending.
Whoa, what you mean?
I don't know if you can hear it, but this whole time, like I don't know if your mic is real close to your face, because I've been hearing you breathe this whole time. So is the audience, and I put in the chat just to make sure it wasn't just my end fucking up. I was like, man, I can hear Darth Vader, and fucking Rogue Black Man's like, yeah, he hates Rogue One.
No, the thing is, like, I'm all like sick. My nose is stuffed with like fucking Vicks vapor rub and shit. So I'm all like, yeah.
He's literally like Darth Vader right now. He's got fucking the vaporizer machine going. He's got Vicks in his nose, on his chest.
Yeah, no, I'm fucking sick. Actually, people, one thing to tell you before we even continue on is, like, when you go to sleep, man, do not fucking have the fan on you all goddamn night, especially like up against your fucking head, because it's completely going to fuck you up.
Oh, like, dude, I went up you once. I went to bed, left the window open. I thought I was going to remain nice 40, 50 the whole night, so I could have the hitter on, leave you a little bit, and just sleep the rest of the night through. Man, a fucking snowstorm blew through, and I got -2. And I literally had snow on my window sill. I ended up catching a 2-day cold from that. Jet was making fun of my ass for a week.
Man, okay, don't even give me that, man. I had one time in the fucking, that was super, super hot, so I left the window open, went to bed. Fucking monsoon happened. I woke up wet, soaked, because of the fucking window in the rain.
That's the only time he's ever going to wake up wet. Oh!
Oh, fuck off, bitch.
Yeah, man, but no, and by the way, just so you guys know what I'm talking about over here, though, like, yeah, here's a movie I'm referring to is Mad World. This is actually 1963. It says in the title, so that's why I know.
Yeah, apparently when I was talking about Rat Race is a remake of this movie, so we're talking about the same movie.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, like, this movie, you know, is not the best thing in my opinion, but to see this done, you know, with the fucking Suicide Squad thing, I mean, I dig that, dude. I really do, because apparently in this particular fucking movie, or I don't know if it's a show, animated. What is it again? It's a movie, right?
It's gonna be a DC animated film, so.
Okay, yeah. And, you know, like, as I was saying, though, yeah, man, basically, it's, you know, they all have to go to this particular place and look for the item. Like, they have the villains, well, and they're both villains, by the way, from both fucking particular sides, because obviously, Viola Davis's character, I mean, I don't know who the fuck's voicing her this time.
Her name is Amanda. Well, I don't know who's voicing it, but her name is Amanda Waller. When you say villains, I'm only seeing the Suicide Squad in this trailer. Is there another group of villains doing the same thing?
Yeah, she's using, you know, our protagonist villains, because now you have antagonist villains and protagonist villains, and there's some other villains of characters I've never heard of before. Like, there's a character like Cotton Ball and fucking Super Skull guy. Like, it was like some weird shit.
The randos, just so that
just to have something to.
No one gives a shit.
Exactly, yeah, just something else for people to actually do. And that's the thing that kind of bothers me about this the most, is the fact that no matter what the situation is, this item, whatever the item may be that they're trying to go after, it's all going to be where these people like just get together, just a reason, an excuse for these characters to meet up at the end, just so your obvious like protagonists are going to win the fucking match. And I really cannot stand that, because you're not giving me a reason why these characters are going to meet. And I already know how this is going to end, because just the storyline in general, the story arc, the trailer, everything they're trying to sell you on, it's obvious already. I knew that this is going to be the storyline without watching the fucking trailer. And it is what it is. And that just bothers the crap out of me. But I mean, like, does it bother you at all? Or you're like, it comes with the fucking source. You know, it comes with the property.
Not even it comes with the source. It's all, at the end of the day, like comic books, like comic book movies, comic book shows, comic book anything. It's always about the journey. It's not about the end goal. It's never been about the end goal. It's always about what crazy shenanigans are they going to go to. Because right now it's like, dude, Jet Set's in a fucking RV fighting with Banshee. Like, that's fucking cool, man. It's just... It's all about the journey from start to finish and the interesting thing that happens on the way. The finish doesn't really matter, but it's one of those things where it's just like, it's a DC animated movie, and that used to stand for quality. Like, there used to be, like, it was like 10 years ago, man, there was never been a bad DC animated movie. And then recently they just had a string of just losses. I don't think there's been a good one in a while. Like, an actual legitimately good DC animated movie in probably like 5 years.
Well, you didn't appreciate Batman just laying the pipe to Batgirl?
Oh, God, Killing Joke? Fuck.
Allie, you didn't like that? You know, the whole idea of a mentor becoming a lover? It was almost like watching, you know, Call Me By My Name. You know, it was like the animated version.
Oh, no shit! Oh!
No.
Hey, they're both
so fucking, yeah.
Nick, do not support that.
Yeah.
I do not have... I was bullshitting. There's no information behind this.
At least in The Killing Joke, they are both adults, as weird as it may be. But...
Girl,
no, but freaking character's been established is like Barbara looks up to him only as a mentor. That's it. Because Batman is friends with Gordon. So it's just freaking weird.
Well, she was looking
never
at that.
happened before. It's freaking this movie's a crime against humanity.
No,
It's a disgrace to the graphic novel, and it should just go burn.
this happened at the worst time for people.
It had Mark Hamill again as the Joker.
I don't freaking care if Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's also in The Last Jedi. I don't care.
Oh,
Mark Hamill's in a lot of things that people don't like to talk about, man.
Man, Mark Hamill doesn't want to talk about the shit. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, dude. But I mean, yeah.
He was only there for the second half, man. He wasn't there for the first half.
Wait, did he say that?
No, but like, if he's
Okay.
the
I was about to say,
Joker
that
doesn't-
motherfucker better not have used that as a fucking excuse. Like, oh shit, I was putting in the fucking movie. It was only...
Well,
so I
hey.
actually didn't go to work.
yeah.
No, I was
that'd
gonna
be
say
bad.
because the Joker really only shows up the second half-ish of the movie. They have like the backstory, but he's really not much in the movie until the second half.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, shit. I thought that was gonna be a fucking thing that he said. That would have pissed me the fuck off. Like, so
I would have laughed my ass off too.
But yeah, man.
Honesty.
Oh wait, what'd you say?
No, I was gonna say God forbid anyone has any honesty.
Yeah, but no, like I said, dude, I don't know what it is to say about this thing anymore, except for the fact that I'm gonna actually show the full screen on this one, and it says like look for the digital movie, or well, shit, that's not the full screen. Fucking
Yeah.
okay, no, it says look for the digital movie or Blu-ray. Wait, what's that?
It's probably gonna be out a couple weeks type thing. You know, it's its own like they just release these movies whenever the hell they want. So.
Okay, yeah. So, but that's the thing. I really hope that at some point we kind of get like some kind of release date or whatever, because you can't just release shit like that. Like, oh hey, by the way, it's out. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, this is supposed to be kind of a big thing. You can't just like randomly throw the shit out here like that. Like, if you don't care enough to give me a fucking date, if the people don't care enough to give you a date to give us, then does that not tell you what the quality of this fucking thing going to be? Is like, I know this is going to be bad.
They
Yeah.
do this all the time, honestly. Like
Okay.
they'll literally just kind of like put a trailer out, have one or two promotions, put it in like have a TV spot in the CW shows, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. I mean, come on.
No.
I mean, this is amateur hour shit. You know what I mean?
No, that dude, it saves their money on budgeting. Like that way they can release as many as these and not have to deal with like, oh man, we got to make our budget back. It's like no, we save the money on the advertisement by putting it in other stuff.
Right.
So that way, like we can keep making these.
So I don't know if you looked on the screen over there, buddy. You see on the side right there, Alan?
Yep.
Yeah, you see what I'm highlighted?
Yeah, Nightmarchers.
Yeah, wait, no, bitch. No.
Man, you need to go back to school for reading, bitch, and read the highlight.
Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, this
Or
is.
I could not. Or I could completely
Capitalization.
ignore it.
Hold on. These two, they don't want to believe it still happened. I'll read because I'm a true believer, unlike these assholes. Alien game in development at Cold Iron Studios.
Oh yes, people. Yes, Alien game and development at Cold Iron Studios. Now, the thing is, I actually have no idea who the fuck Cold Iron Studios is. I actually did some research today, and I couldn't figure out a fucking thing. And for me, that was kind of problematic in my opinion. I'm just like, well, what the fuck's the case is? Now, before I even continue on with like any kind of information regarding this, whatever the fuck, like Alan, why are you booing? Why are you not liking this? How are you feeling? Fuck you.
Man, I'm sorry, but like, short of the AVP game I played on the PS3 a long time ago, I've hated every one of these fucking games. And Ganja, it's not gonna be another RTS. It's never gonna be a fucking RTS again. So
Man,
so
I'm hoping, dude. Like they
Never.
could easily do it. Alien versus Predator Extinction. That is your blueprint. It
It'll
was made
never
good.
happen.
It was one of the few good fucking games, bro. It was a decent RTS. Didn't have much to it, but what they did have was decent. It had emissions, had a little bit of storyline built to it. Man, fuck you. I'm hoping.
It's not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Kingdom Hearts 3 will come out before that game's an RTS. Basically, what it is when they get these small developers that no one's ever fucking heard of, is because they're basically like, "Hey, we need a new developer.
buddy.
We need a." What?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't have the camera on you.
Okay, no, that's fine. So
He was
what they
wiping
do, they
vocals.
get these kind of new developers. Essentially, just make their. They either acquire a small studio that's doing a few cool things, or they just make them, just so they can basically like here, take a new, fresh interpretation of the Alien franchise, and kind of make what you want to make, and then we'll release it. Like what they did is they, when Aliens Colonial Marines was a pile of trash, they gave it to I can't remember Interactive Assembly or whoever the hell those guys are, and they made Alien Isolation, which was total trash, even though it was successful as hell. This to me is a situation where they want another fresh take on it, and honestly, it's not going to be like any of the other. It's probably going to be more closely related to another Alien Isolation or maybe another Alien Colonial Marine, but not a pile of trash. It's never going to be another RTS. Never.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the one thing that gets me interested is not even the alien aspect of this. Actually, it's because this may be our first insight into the relationship of 20th Century Fox and Disney.
Right.
Because the thing is, apparently the studio behind the new Alien game and Cold Iron Studios is a company called fucking was it Fox Tech, Fox News,
Fox Next Games, that's what it says in the article.
Okay, yeah, Fox Next. And basically what they did is that they had their own company, and they don't have a whole lot of history either. And basically what they did is the thing they've been working on for the last 2 years is actually a mobile game called Marvel Strike Force. And I'm going to assume that this is because of the whole, Avengers Infinity War thing coming out eventually. But this looks pretty cool. This reminds me of South Park, things like that. But they said that this game and just them recreating that entire division was in response to this fucking game, Simpsons Tapped Out, which I actually have this on my phone.
I've never heard of this game ever.
Yeah, it's basically it's like a Sims type thing for Simpsons. It's actually really, really cool. Like, I'm sorry, but like to be walking through Springfield. Wait, what the fuck? Why?
Man, this was the first. Hold on, this is the first game that I realized that fucking microtransactions were a piece of shit, dude. You gotta buy donuts, and everyone. Like, I know you have mysterious ways that the Chinese taught you how to get through that shit, Nick. But as somebody that has to do it regularly, the old American USA fashion way, I have to wait 6 to 7 goddamn hours for shit to complete. And if I want to end that, I gotta fucking eat a donut.
I mean,
I want to eat a donut right now. What's your problem?
Yeah, I mean, I would like.
Bitch, you shouldn't have to pay $12 for a fucking digital donut that you're not even get to let it leak through the cream. Man, fuck you, I'm mad.
Oh, I love that. You just fucked up. He's like, man, you fucking got a digital donut.
Man, I trampled all over my rant because I was surprised this motherfucker was going to defend just the donut aspect.
Oh,
and not that it's a microtransaction.
No, hold on. Go ahead, Alan. Oh, I'm sorry, Alan. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I wanted to fuck Ganja up, and clearly it worked.
Yeah, I guess it did. Yeah, like no thinking, sensory overload. No, but I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit now. Now God's gonna be like, man, motherfucker, don't you start now. Oh, don't make fun of me. I whoop your ass.
We'll see you lose your shit later on the show.
Fuck. No, but like that's the thing though. Is like looking at this, man. I gotta say, like, I love Simpsons Tapped Out, so I like how this game is what brought Fox to want to do Fox Next or whatever the fuck that video game company is. And then to get back to this thing, and this is not the right page, but to get back to this, the Alien game in development for Cold Iron Studios, I went to their Facebook and everything. They have family photos and shit. They don't even have like a plethora of games or like a list of games that they did. Their Wikipedia page doesn't even exist. Like, I don't know shit about this company, and I'm kind of more into the mystery of who the fuck are these people, more so than I am that they're going to be making an Alien game. You know what I mean? And I think that's a problem in itself. But, I mean, we'll see what happens still. But I am kind of hyped for another Alien game. I mean,
we'll see something at E3. Like, I guarantee you at E3, we're going to see, like, a 10-second, like, CG trailer, or we're going to see, like, some gameplay. Like, we'll see something by E3 next year.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. But to move on, though, man, we got this other game coming out. Nightmarchers. Nightmarchers. Now, for one, what'd you feel about that name?
That name is trash, man. Like, I think the game is all right. It's pre-alpha, so it looks kind of like weird. But I'm always like, third-person open world game. That's my favorite genre. So I'm always looking like, as soon as it's like, oh, third-person open world, okay, I'm already in. But that is such a lame fucking name. But it's an interesting concept. That's why I kind of liked it, because it's like a post-apocalyptic Hawaii. And you never see that setting in post-apocalyptic. It's always New York or some disheveled city in the middle of wherever, so we can get some iconic imagery. You never see, like, fuck it, let's just do Hawaii, or a place no one ever really sets anything. So that's like rather why I'm kind of interested. And it looks like they have a lot of, like, they're putting graphics and a lot of tech into the game. Clearly it needs a lot of work because it's pre-alpha and a lot of the textures just aren't working. But it seems kind of interesting, and I definitely want to keep an eye on this game.
I have a question for Robot King in the chat room. Buddy, how do you butt fuck the donuts? Two, there's no cheeks on the donuts. One, there is a hole, but it's not used for that.
It might feel good. Wait, what the hole? What the hole? What the hell is a hole used for? I'm gonna say what the hole? What the hell is it used for?
Man, did you just say? Allie, help me.
Not for real.
What do you mean? I'm not helping you. With this topic, you're on your own.
Yeah, you stopped the show to ask this question. What the fuck?
No, I only asked it because he asked it to me, and I had a feeling to ask the group. That way I could defend myself by saying you can't butt fuck a donut and get group consensus. But somehow it turns into Nick agreeing that it feels good, and Allie not refusing to help me out of this hole I dug for myself.
Oh, the hole you dug for yourself? Oh, I'm sorry, Ganja Guru. Like, damn, you're just like.
I'm a little sick too, and that choked me.
Oh, you left the window open again?
Yeah, dumbass. No, but Wait. By the way, too, Smoker's gonna come in your shit and steal $20 from me, motherfucker. Like, you better take
I live on the third floor. If you accomplish that, you deserve the 20, bro.
I know. Yeah, that's an award. No, to back onto the video game thing over here too, because I know you guys don't like the name for this shit, but apparently, Nightmarcher is another word for Spirit Ghost, which is interesting, I guess.
That's a much better name.
Yeah, Spirit Ghost actually would have been way better for that name. But yeah, I'm not really sure if this is going to be touching on that because it basically is a Hawaiian legend, and I guess that's why they're going for. I mean, they want that name, but it's like it's Hawaiian legend, so I guess we'll have this take place in Hawaii. You know, I mean, I don't know.
It's a setting no one ever does. Like, I'm sick of the whole like fucking 3 American states as the setting of every fucking video game. Like it's like GTA being set in some other place. Like, no, set GTA in Japan or London. I think that'd be fucking cool as shit to run around in London with the GTA fucking team working on there. Or Watch Dogs, set that shit in Russia or China. Like, do stuff like that.
I'm letting you know right now, bitch. If the next Grand Theft Auto is not in Vice City, I'm taking a fucking trip to Canada and I'm gonna choke you the fuck out. Hold on. I'm not done yet, sir. I get Vice City in GTA's new fucking engine, and then you get it what the fuck they want.
No, that shit has to be in London or Japan.
I guess I'll sit down.
Yes, you sit the fuck down. I'm sick of this shit. No, we're just gonna do GTA 5. GTA 5. Oh, it's just a remake of San Andreas, but not nearly good in any way, shape, or form. Let's just redo Vice City, one of the best GTAs, and just ruin it because we feel the need to fucking make an overloaded fucking world. Fuck you.
Ruined shit.
Dan, did he win? Holy shit!
No, he did not.
Fucking 21 blackjack, bitch.
I'm sorry, dude. As a judge in this court, session's in order.
No, I was debating whether or not I want to talk shit about GTA 5 on a live show because fuck GTA 5.
Oh,
all right, hold on.
Of San Andreas.
I would agree that it's just a recreation of San Andreas, but you got to admit that the engine work they did into it, to the amount of fucking time they used to develop it, they may have wigged out on the story a little bit because I'll be honest, at this point in time, they were focused on that multiplayer game.
Yeah, they were.
Everyone can agree at this point how much infrastructure has been put into that, how much DLC has come out. It's all about the multiplayer game at this point, and the single player was kind of secondary. But the thing is, now that they have the base of the multiplayer done, I'm hoping that I get to see Vice City done fucking properly.
Why go back? Go forward.
Go back, because just like the reason they went back to New York, the reason they went back to Los Angeles is because it's a different time period, and Miami is 10 times fucking different than it was in the 80s. We got motherfucking zombies eating people's faces on Miami Avenue. We have South Beach, where that's just became a big
DLC.
Not only that, you have the Everglades, which Rockstar has never done anything in the South where they have to deal with a swamp environment, unless you count fucking Mafia 3, and I don't.
This is Fallout. We're gonna have like freaking different differences in levels and.
Bro, you don't know where I grew up. This is fucked up. You go from Miami, which is city life, to Davie. You're riding horses. It makes no goddamn sense.
Nah, man, we gotta set that shit in London, man, so we could try to drive around in that bullshit.
We can get British New Yorkers.
Yeah, British New Yorkers. Fuck it.
Okay, by the way, just to put this out there, all 3 of my co-hosts, this motherfucker, that motherfucker, and this motherfucker right here, they like The Crown. They like The Crown, which is one of the most boring fucking TV shows I've ever fucking watched my goddamn fucking
You're right,
life.
let's watch 6 hours of wrestling.
And I'm old.
I like how Nick starts his argument trying to get the audience on his side by being completely wrong, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, that fucking thing's boring. Hello, let's drive in a car and then get to a place and then everyone's like really subtle.
I'm not saying we were making a crowd of the video game form, man.
Fuck that. And you want to play GTA in that fucking place? For one, GTA wouldn't work because the main protagonist would be too fucking polite to steal a car from another motherfucker.
Well, how about this? There's no guns in England.
Dude, go watch that.
That's right. There's no guns in England.
Yeah, so what? There were GTA 4 specifically. They talk about how even though that whatever the senator was in that specific state, reduced the fuck out of guns, they still had guns underground.
That's New York City. That's like Chicago. Chicago got the worst gun laws, but you still run around.
Exactly.
You find AKs and shit. But in England, this is the only country where I'll be like, no, you got gangsters running around with World War II rifles and shit. You don't have the same type of weaponry.
Okay, just because you can't walk around there with a fucking tank or a fucking military issue sniper rifle that could take out the president from Hawaii doesn't mean we still can't have some guns in there. Like they still do have issues, not as big obviously as the States. I'm surprised you guys are proud of your issues with guns. Like they don't have as much issues, but you still
Donald Trump as president. We got to pick a few things, all right?
And again, go watch movies like Stats, where they talk about the British underground, the British fucking criminality, and it's about the criminal underlife. That's what makes GTA, not just the guns.
Okay, true. But then again, speaking of that too, another thing with the games too about GTA as well that I like is the soundtrack. Now, it's cool in California and Florida when you got some good-ass shit bumping in the fucking radio, and it's like, yeah, dude, I'm into this world. Man, imagine a London GTA where it's like, la, 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 ba, ba, ba,
Well,
like,
right,
I don't hear that shit killing people.
Besides the fucking the stereotype of British people listening to classical music,
Apparently,
Nick's got a point, because Ruthless can actually probably back me up with this. Europe itself is not really into hip-hop. They're more into that fucking idea of EDM, that dance culture, shit like that. They listen to a lot of weird pop and synth music more so. So unless you want to capture the vibe of England, it's going to turn off a lot of American audience just from music alone, because we have grown to appreciate this.
In Miami, they're not going to have a lot of pop and synth and EDM music? Are you fucking high?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. It's not going to be Eurocentric where you're going to have to worry about people not getting the joke.
Okay, a lot of European music, they listen to a lot of American music, some stuff that actually...
Yeah, but I'll let you right now, I don't want to listen to 2 Chainz if I'm playing a game in a different country.
Oh, motherfucker, play 2 Chainz in GTA 5. You can listen to it right now. Like, you can make something interesting by setting it in some place that's not comfortable. That's what I want with the GTA series.
Actually, Dayhelm's got a good point. In GTA, if GTA would be set in Japan, it wouldn't work because the people are polite. But there is a way around it.
You've never played the Yakuza games.
You can play asshole American, but even in a Yakuza game, you're still a nice pimp.
Oh, God forbid they have to, well, yeah, that's because they're choosing that. Yakuzas are still bloodthirsty murderers. Like, you can make a character, you can make a story, whatever setting you want to see. I just want to see things that aren't the same thing states you can do.
Every time you steal a car, you get a
no, that would be Canada.
Oh, sorry.
If you told me they can't in Canada, maybe I'd agree with you.
Dude, would you think you'd have like a karate meter like in fucking Japan in the GTA Japan game? That would be great. I would love that shit.
Yeah, I actually have a melee combat system for the first time in the series.
Okay, and you need to get off because the melee thing, you like fucking swords a whole lot, okay? And you get tons of swords of For Honor and Assassin's Creed. You didn't like either one of those fucking things.
What are you talking about? I love both those games. What are you?
I thought you hate For Honor and fucking.
No, I'm the only one that likes it.
See, he sucks.
Wow.
He likes the $60 rock papers and scissors, yo.
Oh.
No, I just like doing a little bit more than just clicking on my screen and go, oh, I did taxes again.
You damn right. I'm gonna do taxes again this coming February. I can't wait to hear what I own.
I thought that was a joke on me because I'm playing a lot of adventure.
No, that's a joke on me and my history with the IRS.
And also his video games.
That too as well.
Yeah, well.
What about a game in Texas?
No, actually,
I don't think I ever got asked a question in my life, Nick, when I was trying to get him into I think it was not Crusaders, it was Europe South. And he's like, all right, so I kind of get how this works, Ganja. Now, how do I do the income and the tax system? I just looked at him because we were all looking at, we had the cameras on because it was about before the show. I just looked and I was like, man, you figure that out, you let me know.
The same thing about City Skylines, man. I'm like, hey, how do I do this? He's like, I don't fucking know. I'm like, God damn it.
But you know what, though? We're talking about all these games that we want to see GTA do. Well, let's see if this open world gameplay works in a place like Hawaii. Because to be back on this thing, I don't know if this is going to be a generic shooter. And, judging by the fact that this game looks like fucking Horizon Zero Dawn, had a kid that was fucking conceived with Far Cry. Like, dude, if you look at the HUD, especially when this dude presses pause and goes through his fucking... Let me actually find this really quick. And I want to show you. I know, sorry, it's like unprofessional as shit. Okay, like that right there, dude. Like, is that not fucking Far Cry?
It's just a map. It's I don't think like, oh man, that map's totally Far Cry. It's going to be trash. No, it looks nothing like it. Far Cry map, it doesn't have a little legend in the corner. It usually just kind of spreads everything out. But it's just a map. It seems like it's a fine map.
All right, I'm gonna bring up some old shit right now. I'm sorry, Alan. I'm sorry. You're gonna get mad. This is gonna be our second debate right now.
God
Nick,
damn it!
All right, Nick. You can't really ask this man to recognize a Far Cry map because Homeboy did not realize when he bought Far Cry Primitive, it was literally the same map as Far Cry 3.
First of all,
I'm not fucking around. If you go look this up, if you got some time, Nick, that shit literally is the same map over again, just redone.
Okay, first of all, bitch, I knew that walking in. Second of all, if you actually played the game instead of, just hating at it from the corner, when you actually are in the game and you're going through there, as somebody that played both for hours, you will not fucking notice. Anyone that ever picked up Far Cry Primal will not fucking notice.
All you have to do now to get Alan lost in his house is just repaint it.
Yo.
Okay.
Are you serious? It's
yes,
the same
son.
fucking map.
Yes, son.
When you play the fucking game, you will not fucking notice.
They got rid of the buildings and the cars.
Fuck you. The way the actual the lighting, the foliage, how everything is placed. To me, it was like playing a completely new game. Because guess what? I was playing a completely new game, even though the map was similar.
You know, I feel the exact same way. Like, dude, when I played Pokemon Yellow and I went to Fire Red, I was like, man, fuck. Man,
I played the fuck out of both, and Far Cry Primal does a lot of interesting things. Yes, the map is, as you pointed out, like one-to-one. But when you actually are dropped in the game, when you actually are playing the individual stuff, like going through at night is fucking terrifying in Far Cry Primal because wolves will just show up and all you see is their fucking eyes. Like, you're not noticing, oh man, maybe this is kind of similar. Because honestly, it's really not that similar when you're actually playing the game. You know, instead of just looking at it from afar.
I mean, I see what you're saying.
I disagree with him fully. I think.
Of course you do. You didn't play either.
I think if you just go to Alan's house, repaint the walls, he'll get lost. That's all I'm saying.
Man, that's unfortunate.
Man, gotcha. Gotcha mad about the fucking donut debate, so he's like, I'm gonna crush Alan every chance I get now.
I was like a blind person. All I gotta do is change the furniture a little bit.
Oh, fuck off. No, I just sit there and actually, like, you know, to experience the product before I talk shit about it.
Oh, you're gonna do that right now? What about Walking Dead season 6 and 7 and 8?
I watched season 6. I never talked shit about 7.
7 and 8, and then another thing, we're not even done with that.
I never talked shit about that.
And Alien Covenant. Did you?
I watched Alien
Scott's
Covenant.
No, before it came out.
Okay.
We saw the trailer. You were saying, Ridley Scott's a peak dumb fuck. He's a fucking asshole.
He is a dumb fuck. And I said this movie is probably gonna suck, and I was right.
Dude, you made up your mind before you saw the movie.
Yeah, and I was right. But what I said is that based on the last 5 fucking movies, that there's no way this is gonna be good. And I was open to being wrong. My exact words were, hey, I'll watch this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I wasn't. But the difference is I went and I actually experienced the product. God hasn't played either.
I played the 5th.
Man, I quit.
Don't give me that shit. I actually go out of my way to watch the stuff that
he actually wasted his money on a new map.
Well, fuck off.
Oh wait, no, not a new map. It looks different. You can't tell.
No, motherfucker.
They colored it different, so it's a new map.
And y'all a bunch of haters, man. Anyone that's played Primal and actually like loves it because it's a great fucking game knows what I'm talking about.
I mean, I'd rather play Ark, honestly. But
this game has a functional frame rate, so.
Damn, he's not wrong.
Yeah, but that's because I'm playing on a functional computer, bitch. Oh! Wow.
Sorry, when's the exploit gonna crash?
Hey, it's just working okay right now, bitch.
Good, I got it working good now.
Alright, Alan, that was a dick punch, bro.
I don't give a fuck right now.
Why'd you play Super Nintendo on your shit? And what happened? Fucking frames. This is old school game.
But I'm not saying they're hyping up my computer right now, man.
Yes, your shit can't handle blast processing.
Because it doesn't exist.
Oh my god, man. I love this shit. The chat's actually.
Fuck all y'all right now.
Damn, Red Robot King saying I would bang Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. Actually, dude, like, she's sexy and everything, but I wouldn't because she would beat the fuck out of me. Aloy, yeah, you remember Aloy, right?
Yeah. Isn't she like 16?
Oh fuck, well then never mind. I don't think she's attractive at all.
She's young as hell, man.
They don't even speak fucking age language. Like they don't do that. Fucking goddamn.
I don't know what they know. You know, man.
I'm gonna actually just put you in a good mood. I'm scared of you right now. So,
God damn it!
Your fucking movie, your boy, your fucking boyfriend, Keanu Reeves.
Hey, Keanu Reeves is, yeah, I love him. I'm exhausted for the last 2 rounds of fucking fisticuffs. I have to go with Gotcha right now. So.
First round 3, bitch.
Oh god damn.
Well, anyways, like that's how Alan's looking at you right now. He's like, motherfucker, you better leave me the fuck alone.
Oh my
Shit,
God.
I feel like at the end of John Wick, man, when he's like limping away, man. Like, I made it through it, man, but I'm still hurt.
It was like I was watching 2 boxers go at it, and then someone bit someone's ear. I was like, hold on, call the fight up. Y'all taking this too far.
Man, so I don't know what to think about this fucking thing over here, man. The name of the show apparently is going to be called The Continental, and apparently that's the name of a hotel or some place that all the hitmen hang out at. I didn't watch the movie.
Sorry, what was the name again?
Well, the show doesn't really have, or the show's called The Continental.
Yeah, Continental. Yeah, sorry. That's what basically the Continental is essentially like the safe haven. Like how the world works is there's assassins all over the place, and they're hired to protect people, kill people. You know the deal. And there's these places all over the world. Every city has one. They're called the Continentals. They're basically hotels, and they're all run by various people. And there's rules out there of, you're not allowed to commit any business on there. No murder, no nothing. any beef. Literally, at one point during the movie, two people are fighting, crash through the fucking window into the Continental. They have their guns pointed at each other. The guy goes, no, you know the rules. And they're like, fuck. Because if you break the rules...
It's like hide and seek, like touch base. You know, like...
Pretty much. It's like a freeze or it's like a safe zone or whatever. You're not allowed to do any business. So it makes sense that they probably want to do a television show set around that idea, because that's really the most interesting part of, hey, how does this world kind of work? How do people get paid? You know, how do people get? How do you contact an assassin if you need help? You know, stuff like that.
Well, you say it's interesting, but I'm thinking, like, how boring is this fucking show going to be if it's still going to be taking place all at the same place? Like, I hope that is not the basis for the entire show.
The idea of it, you know.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I don't know, like, even now, like, I mean, good lord, like, I hope Keanu Reeves decides to fucking step in, like, his character, you know, I hope he steps in as John Wick at some point, because apparently he said that he's not going to be reprising the role of John Wick, that none of this stuff's going to be...
Is it John Wick? I thought, oh, really? I didn't know that they have John Wick in there. I thought they'd have, like, some rando, and John Wick's just doing his thing, like, somewhere else.
No, it's just a place surrounding the Continental and all the other characters who actually go there, and the way they finance the hitman, and how they, you know, continue this lavish lifestyle that they have, because they do live like fucking rock stars. You know?
Pretty much, like they're basically they're basically wealthy, because they basically paid in these weird gold coins, and these gold coins just open doors for everywhere. You just put a gold coin, you get a drink. You can put a gold coin, you get an apartment to stay. Huh?
It's a fucking rupee.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. It might as well be a rupee. Like,
oh, you see this movie, Nanja?
Oh yeah, I watched the first one, and they touched on that a little bit.
Okay, well shit.
Yeah, and I have to touch more on that, because it's an interesting thing. Because I heard a director, like the director's actually doing the, you know, commentary and talk about the movie. And somebody asking, like, what's the value of one of these gold coins? And he's like, the gold coins are basically like a business card. If you have a gold coin, you walk right in. If you don't, then you're clearly not doing your job well enough.
Yeah, so, I mean, like I said, I mean, it says here, you know, we're still more than a year away from the third entry of the John Wick franchise. So apparently,
Black Man asked if there's going to be if they released a plot yet?
The plot basically, I mean, like I just said, is like, you know, it's just everything's going to surround around the Continental, and they probably don't want to tell you exactly what the plot is right now because it's so in such an early stage. But the thing is, it could be not an anthology series, but very close to, where it's like, okay, we're going to focus on this character, but then we can easily jump to another character in case somebody gets in trouble for sexual molestation or some shit. Like, you know, with the celebrity bullshit going on.
Or you know, like, you know, someone just dies, happen, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, I mean, anything at this point can happen with all these stars, so I think they should do more shows where it's not just one fucking star at the end of it, because just like House of Cards, you know, the Kevin Spacey thing went down, it was like, well, what the fuck are we gonna do? Like, people were actually asking and petitioning for Kevin James to reprise the role of, or to take over the role of Kevin Spacey's.
That's a fucking terrible idea.
That would have been hilarious. I would have loved it.
I support it.
That was a good idea.
I support it just to hear you fucking holler and scream, Alan.
Fuck that bullshit, man. I love Alpha Stars. I hate Kevin James.
Oh, man, you're an asshole. But here's the thing, people. It's that time right here, the very, very bottom.
It's that time.
Oh, I'm not singing.
Yeah, you can if you want to.
Bitch, I got video footage of you singing in Facebook. I don't need it anymore.
I never again.
Allie, I'm glad you're here. Throw some soul on me, girl. Just sing. It's time.
It's that time.
Throw the fuck on it.
It's not working.
Yeah, I'll give her 50 cents.
Harder's looking at her like she just did a dog whistle. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Her foot's hurting again. No, so.
Oh,
what? God damn it.
Oh, I'm glad Ruthless brought it up, because it turns out that Kevin Spacey is not only a pedo, y'all. He is racist. There was
I remember that too. I heard.
There was an audio leak of. There's an audio leak of him saying the N-word about some cast member.
Oh no. Oh Lord.
See, that's why you guys shouldn't like people like
Jesus.
that. It's very close. It was very obvious.
That's even worse. No, it's not. Actually, both are terrible.
I'm hoping for Steven Spielberg to be next.
Stop hoping. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, are you sure, girl? Come on, you're smarter than that.
I'm pretty sure that Steven Spielberg is safe.
I highly doubt that shit.
He survived 2017. He's safe.
What did E.T. really do with that finger? The world wants to know.
Nothing.
It wasn't E.T.'s fault. It was Steven Spielberg. Goddammit, leave him alone. No, but here's the thing. We're gonna go right into Pixel Picks first. And Pixel Picks tonight is gonna be about Divinity Original Sin 2. I think it's called, Mr. Allen.
Oh yeah, I love the hell out of this game because we want to talk about it last time we were doing the XCOM thing, because it's one of those things where it's very similar gameplay to XCOM, except you don't really have the whole cover-based dynamic, but it's a turn play. Basically, what it is a turn play RPG, and where you get to play as whoever you get to pick as whatever character class you want. Typical RPG stuff, elves, dwarves, you can be undead even, and you go through this interesting character creator. And once you get on it, you basically get sent onto this island. And your entire thing is that the first start of the game, it takes fucking bloody hours to get off this island. But the whole
Bloody
point is
hours?
to just
Bloody hours? Oh man, it's quite or not all right.
Anyway, it's one of those things where every single time you kind of can do your own different way. Like I remember having to play this game twice because I lost a save, and the second time I did a completely different path. And one thing I like about it is that the game gives you a lot of choice in how you want to go about things. You gotta go around sneaking everywhere. You can go around brutally murdering everyone in your path, and apparently the game does not give a shit one way or another if you do, as long as you're able to survive the fight. But one of the most interesting things about it is every single time you get introduced to a character, there's this narrator, like kind of like a D&D thing. And every time you walk up to a guy, be like, the elf's sitting there with his beard. He strokes it as he looks at you longingly. And the narrator always has this weird, like, long sentence of introducing every character every time you walk up to them. And then as soon as you answer, you'll be like, oh, and then you answered him with this stone cold response. And he looks at you weirdly, you know, shit like that. And it makes it feel like, because you really can't see any emotion on the characters because it's so zoomed out and it's so, you know, small. What I loved about it is the fact that the narrator really adds it like you're playing a book. It really feels like you are playing a book. So I honestly recommend anyone that likes the turn play kind of style, old Baldur's Gate, to really go up and pick it up because it's really a lot of fun. And you'll get hours of enjoyment out of the game.
Yeah, man. No, and for me, I like games like Touchlight 2, Diablo 3, things like that. So
Yeah.
I like this whole, like, especially like the looting aspect of it too. But the way that the cursor's moving around over here too, like it almost looks like kind of like, and then the map too, it looks like Dota a little bit. Like it reminds me of Dota 2. I mean, is that like a fair comparison? Or?
That's because Dota's kind of like more like a really actiony game. Like the way it's kind of is very similar to kind of the old Baldur's Gate or even some of the Dragon Age Origins games, you know, the good ones. But what it is, it's just, yeah, you kind of just you do the top down, so it's always top down. You're always kind of looking from above, and you're just clicking your character around, interacting with things, talking to people, gathering up your party. The only thing I have to say that's bad about this game is it has kind of a permadeath system. So if your characters die in battle, if they die in battle, they're gone unless you have a resurrection scroll. Once you have a resurrection scroll, you can bring them back. But if you have no resurrection scrolls, they're dead.
Is there any way you can like get like your virtual currency or something sent to your newest character or anything like that?
No. Basically, how it works is if a character dies, you have to get a resurrection scroll and resurrect them. If not, they're just dead. And that's kind of something I really don't like because sometimes like the situations where, like, and God knows this for me playing XCOM, I'll put my guys in harm's way to take a hit to make sure that my other guys that are weaker won't take a hit. But the thing is this game is like that. I really can't use that strategy that often because people won't come back, and it's just, I have to sit there and think like I only have a few of these scrolls. How can I play this game properly to make sure that I don't lose anybody? That's really the only thing I really don't like. Besides the fact the game is fucking phenomenal, incredible amount of story, voice acting for every character, and a lot of the good classic RPG system, a lot of new RPG systems. You know, a lot of stuff like if you put blood on the ground, you can electrify it or freeze it. You can put fire effects, water effects, all sorts of stuff all over the place.
Yeah, man. No, this does look cool, and I like the lighting of this as well. And yes, I know that's like a funny thing to say nowadays too, especially because what happened on Rapid the last time. But like lighting in video games actually is important. Okay, like that is actually a really, really important thing, especially when it's trying to tell you like gameplay wise, like what's going on. And I keep forgetting. What I'm trying to do is actually rewind this when I switch the screen. But like, there's this thing that happens when they do a move where there's like a outline like around the entire group of people. Done in a really weird way where I'm thinking, once again, I know I brought this up twice today, but it's just like South Park, where like little squares lined up. Is that what's happening here, where it's giving you a chance to like, move from place to place? Or?
Yeah. There are basically, you can kind of move them around. Like it's not like it's not as grid style as something like XCOM or the South Park game. But basically what it is every character you can kind of move them as you want, and certain attack points and certain things. But then every character has some version of an area of effect attack. And so when you see characters being highlighted, it's what are those characters being affected by? Are you putting a protection spell around them? Are you increasing their magical protection? Are you giving them health? Are you giving them powers? Or are you sending a giant fucking tornado? Or are you blowing up the entire bat because you're like, fuck it, I want to drop a fireball there. I don't care who gets hit.
Yeah, man. I mean, and as he's talking about this, Ganja, like, are you sold on this at all? Like,
I don't know. This is some birdie nerd shit.
Some birdie nerd shit.
I mean, some nerd shit that Birdman's likes, man. Some birdie nerd shit.
Some birdie nerdy.
It was actually fucked up, but I like how it worked out for me in the end.
Yeah, right.
But nah, I'm not really interested in this stuff because it reminds me too much of Baldur's Gate or this. I think it was called Excalibur Quest that was on the arcades. I don't know if you remember. They used to have this console setup, but 4-player setup, kind of like they do for Street Fighter, and it was like a big arcade machine, and you either look down to it or they had a top screen. and you and a few other people play either a wizard, warrior, I think it was thief, and then another one was a creature or a dwarf, and you would just go around trying to collect as many things as you possibly can. There was like some kind of small decisions you would make, but they didn't really matter in the long run. And I don't like. I've been spoiled by a lot of RPGs, like Fallout series. I'm trying to think of some other RPGs as well that have kind of taken this to extreme. I guess the better extent the BioWare's as well as come to extent, where you basically live a life of the character. And I like that aspect where you take it further and you actually feel like you are this character. Witcher 3 also does that. You make decisions about their life that affects the next game. And I feel like these are just kind of like half-assed ones that are just in an old school way, where it's like, okay, you make these small decisions, but in the end, it's just about this one quest.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way too. I feel like, we've seen so many of these games coming out recently. This is Horizon Zero Dawn over here.
Yeah.
But there's just so many of these games. Like, you know what? This is oversaturation to an extent, and I'm not complaining about it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying that's like once you get the plethora of one, or not the plethora, but like the really good quality one, you're like, okay, you know what? I don't need the plethora of games that's going to be coming out. I have the best one. I can get my fix, and I'm done.
That's the thing, man. Like, and that's why I kind of wholeheartedly disagree. The idea of the quote-unquote best one, I don't really think it's a situation that kind of exists in not even just media in general, but just this genre, because it's like you take aspects of these, and yes, you've seen them, but it's just like it's all about how the game actually kind of does it. And when I said that the first place you get to is this island called Fort Joy, you spend hours on there because there's so many different ways to get off the island. And yes, if you think about it, well, at the end of it's just one objective: get off the island. But just what you're doing to do that is so many different ways. I said fuck it and beefed up my guys and just stormed the front gates. But there's clearly another one where you can abandon all your friends and just leave the fucking island. Or there's situations in which you can actually start sneaking around, get your sneak so high you can actually just sneak through the entire fortress. Like, it's about how the game itself uses all of its nuances to differentiate yourself. Like, this is the video game industry is a genre in which you just because you have something similar or even exactly the same doesn't mean it can't be different. Something like Shadowrun is the exact same combat system as XCOM, exact same right down to the cover system, but it's the world it creates and how it uses its combat system that differentiates it from something like XCOM.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. But yeah, so like with that said, man, because it seems like you really fucking like this game. Like, yeah, what would you rate it?
Honestly, I think I'm not sure if we have a rating for Pixel Pix yet, or if it's the same rating as we always do. But
same
honestly,
rating we always do. Yeah.
I'd honestly just go with a straight buy it. Wait, if you want, like, wait for it, to be on a Steam sale or a PSN. I don't know if it's on consoles. Wait for it to be on any sort of sale, whatever you're gonna end up buying it on. But honestly, I would highly recommend it, and it's co-op. So if you want to play with this with a friend of yours, apparently the co-op is really good. I just never tried it myself, but it is co-op too. So you can get a lot out of this game.
He's got no friends.
Aww. See, what a dick.
Anyway.
But yeah,
I definitely recommend buying it. It is definitely worth your time. There's a lot of fun you can have with this game, a lot of different things you can do with it. Create your own character, create your own kind of play style, and it's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, no, I'm sold on this fucking thing big time. If I had the time to play a bunch of games, I fucking would definitely go to this. But people, it is that time. Yes, it is. Oh my goodness, it's Flex and Chill.
Take off that green shirt, Colin Redwood, bitch.
I don't want to do this. Not after the show we've had, man.
Oh, I am so frightened about what we're about to see.
All I know is I didn't see this shit, and I'm happy.
You should be. This is the biggest waste of time, and it was my idea.
Really couldn't put that there. Sorry about that. The shit fucked up. So, okay. Oh, I am scared. The thing that we're talking about, the big movie that we're going to discuss, is actually, believe it or not, it's Mother.
Fucker.
Oh, yeah. Man, he really does not like this
he's
movie.
really angry.
Already that.
He does not like this movie. And for me, I think I've made up my mind I was going to like this straight from the trailer. I'm going to show you guys the trailer right now. You guys could probably hear it, the theme song, the violin, everything playing. This shit was creepy. It was intense. It was confusing. I love this fucking thing, and I know you guys can't hear it right now, but the trailer is amazing. Now. Like, I don't know. Did you watch the trailer before?
I've never seen the trailer, but it's whenever I remember being in Austin. Actually, the first time I ever saw the trailer, being in the DT studio, and it's one of those things. And it's just like it's just a bunch of cut up like a typical horror movie. Like this trailer feels like a horror movie. Where it's like typical horror movie. Like let's just cut from scene to scene to scene to scene. Where you don't really understand what's going on, but you're kind of scared because of the music, but you really want to watch the movie because you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then when you watch the movie, you have the exact same feeling.
Now, to start this off, The main thing that we got into when we were watching the movie is I told them like pretty much 15 minutes into the movie because as I was watching the movie I was like maybe I don't have to tell them, maybe they can figure this out. But the movie's so fucking random. It just does what it wants to do. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't think about what it's doing at all. It doesn't give a fuck about you. And I don't blame it for not giving a fuck about you. But it gets to a point though where I had to be like, yo guys, so just so you guys know, just to kind of pay attention and actually understand this movie. Yeah, it's supposed to be some kind of like it uses the Bible as a barometer and just like the whole the battle philosophies between Mother Nature and people who believe in the earth and things like that versus religion, God. And lots of these things act like metaphors for God and Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel and everything. So, you know, when you start seeing those things and you watch the movie thinking that this is, yeah, straight from the Bible, it is really, really cool. But god damn it, man. As I'm thinking about it and as I was watching the movie too, and I still like this movie a lot. I had a great fucking time because it was a ride. I don't give a fuck about how the ride was made. I just wanted to enjoy the ride like a fucking roller coaster. But there's lots of things that pissed Alan the fuck off. The slow pacing of it, the random things happening. And I know Allie was watching this with us too. And Allie, like, I mean, at any point were you know, before I told you about the Bible thing, were you confused and kind of like, man, fuck this random movie? Like, how'd you feel about it?
I didn't have that. Like, I didn't have the hate towards it. I was just like more like, okay, I don't know what's like. I was like, okay, this is interesting. What is happening? Not sure, but I would have probably saw the parallels after a certain point. But I think I would have recognized it too late, and I would have had to go back and watch it again to really get everything. And I still actually want to watch it again.
Okay, I was to ask you that right now too. I was like, do you want to watch this again?
Totally. Like, I was thinking maybe I should rent it tonight after we're done. Like, I actually honestly want to buy it.
Damn.
So, yeah, man, I really see myself watching this movie multiple times, try to get everything, all the little details. Because, like, yeah, Nick, you had to point out a lot of stuff to me because I'm not the best with metaphors. I'll just say that. I've never been good at interpreting fiction or literature or anything like that, or even in films. So things go over my head, but I definitely did see the obvious parallels. But man, I just love this movie so much. Like, I just love Jennifer Lawrence, just her look. The whole entire movie is like, what the heck is happening?
And then,
what is happening?
The same look.
Why aren't you guys listening to me? Get off that sink!
Yeah, like, why are you breaking shit?
Man, it was so great. I just love how, like, it started out kind of tame, and then as it goes on, it just goes balls to the wall crazy. And I'm just like, this is the best thing I've ever watched.
Yeah, I'm loving it too because, and when you hear the context of the fact that, like, yeah, she's, you know, mother is supposed to be Mother Nature. That's why the movie's called that. And it's like when you get into the movie, when she's doing things like, what are you doing? Like, I just fixed this house for you. The house is supposed to be Earth. So when she's like freaking out, people are like, oh my God, you just broke the thing off the end of my house. My window's broken. And what do you do that for? And it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of equivalent to when we're pulling out oil from our land and, you know, we're building shit on top of it and, you know, we're not eating the grass that we fucking have. Instead, we're making, like, processed food and killing animals and fucking everything up. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. I was like, wow, like, it's almost like Mother Nature's yelling at me. Like, look what you fucking did. The internet. Why do you need the internet? Like, just fucking,
basically,
you know?
It's Earthchan the movie.
Oh, God. When I realized that about halfway through, like, what Nick is saying is basically, like, what he's saying is basically what's happening in the movie. The thing is when we were watching the movie for the first part of it, it's just kind of this slow, really stupidly slow thing. And I don't mind a slow start. I watch a lot of movies with slow starts. But it's one of the things where it was just kind of slow and boring. I'm like, I really don't care what's going on with any of these characters. I just have no interest. So when Nick basically drops, you know, the bombshells, oh, this is just all based on the Bible. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. That actually made me want to watch it a little bit more. It's like, okay, cool, it's all based on the Bible. So you start seeing that. There's a Cain and Abel scene. There's a bunch of, you know, scenes of, you know, Adam and Eve and all that shit. But the movie itself just keeps going, and it's never more interesting than the idea of what this movie is. It is never more interesting than this is the idea based on the Bible. It is just a bunch of random scenes that just go on and be like, okay, I guess it's supposed to interpret this as something. A bunch of characters that don't act anywhere short of real. And at that point, I stopped caring that they were acting like real, weren't calling the cops, weren't doing normal things because this is based off the Bible. So I stopped caring that nobody was acting real. There comes to a point in this movie, and everybody knows it. It is right as soon as they have sex, where the movie does not give a fuck anymore if you care about the metaphor. It does not care if you know what the fuck is going on, it just goes into a montage of bullshit.
Now, the
where
reason why
the character just walks around and shit just starts happening. Explosions, the house falling apart, people eating children. It is just a bunch of shit happening.
Does it not sell you? Like, how does that make you not want to watch it?
He goes from Saving Private Ryan to a fucking episode of to fucking Hellraiser to like, oh my god, it just started getting more and more ridiculous to the point where it's like, I can understand why people are walking out of this fucking theater because the movie does not give a shit anymore of trying to be subtle. It's just like, fuck it, let's just throw it to the wall because we don't give a shit anymore. We got to end this movie.
And really quick, Ruth was saying, be real. Mother is only shocking until you get what's happening. Then it's just boring. And I actually disagree because I knew what was happening and I actually knew how the movie ended. But the way we got there was still shocking to me because the one thing I really liked about the movie a lot is the anthological characters that came in, because it's like characters will come in and they do have their ending and you don't see them again. Michelle Pfeiffer's character, she's a co-star in this film. She's gone after a while. And she didn't start off in the very, very beginning. She comes in at a certain point. And she's so important, but the movie's not like, one thing I hate about movies, and any kind of movie, doesn't matter what genre it is, sometimes certain characters, when they're in a movie and they're a star, they have to be in the beginning, middle, of end. Even a little bit. It's like we have to see this play out all the way through. And then movies don't do that I love. Like, for instance, Baby Driver didn't do that with John Bernthal. I love that. I was like, fuck yeah. But there was no reason to keep Kevin Spacey so long. There was no reason to. I mean, granted, I like Jamie Foxx's death in Baby Driver, but it was like I didn't enjoy the fact that he was there for so long too. You should have did that quicker.
Well, spoilers.
It's old, fuck everybody.
Well, I was actually thinking of watching it, but thanks.
How do you not know what happened? Because
I never watched Baby Driver. I didn't care to watch it in theaters. I was gonna wait until to rent it. But
oh shit,
it's okay.
My bad. Well, anyways, it's a good movie though. Honestly, I think you should watch it. And there's still stuff. By the way, too, there's stuff that I haven't spoiled. That just you should watch it. It's great. Alan hates everything.
Oh, really? That's what's coming from you, motherfucker.
Hey, I hate everything that's bad. There's a difference.
Bullshit.
No, but yeah, man. Like looking at this movie though, I gotta say, like, I like how some of the characters, even like a villain who kills somebody in the movie, and you don't see him. He's in the movie for like 5 minutes, and the movie gets calm after he's gone. And I was like, okay, well, the whole movie I was waiting for him to come back. I was like, I bet he's going to eat the fucking kid at the end, or I bet he's going to do this, or I bet he's going to kill somebody at the end. No, he's just not there. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like, granted, I'm kind of mad that he didn't finish the story, but you've been doing this the whole movie, so you are sticking to your own rules. You're sticking to the pride that you built up. Like, yo, I'm not going to make this character stay here forever and overstay their welcome. This movie is called Mother. It's about fucking Mother. We're not going to be telling all these other little stories.
You use story and character way too fucking like wholeheartedly. I'd say loosely. These aren't really characters. These are people that just show up, do a thing, and you're supposed to be like, oh man, that means this, that means that. Yeah. Oh, look how smart I am, because the director did a little subtle thing, and by subtle I mean not at all, not at all. But it's one of those things where it's like these people just show up, do their thing so that they could be a reference, leave. And then another fucking reference happens. Another fucking reference happens. This movie doesn't this movie is two parts. The first part, you can almost believe that this is actually a movie about this crazy guy and his fan base. But then the movie just forgets a lot of what it builds up, just so it can continue to do random imagery in random sequences, just so it could continue to be weird and nonsensical, so it could just be an interpretation fest. So you can sit there and interpret it, and watch it multiple times to get all the genius the director's trying to take, when all it is just, let's just bring this stuff up and drop it down immediately.
Now, Allie,
you know what what I thought of the characters in the movie, other than Jennifer Lawrence, I thought of them mainly as like comparing it to maybe The Sims or SimCity. How you can control, like how they kind of like, if you just let them do whatever the heck, they just go and be about their way, have their freedom or whatever. But I didn't see them necessarily as like real people. So I took that kind of in the context of Mother, where I was just like, all these people, when they started coming to the house, except for like, Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem, I saw them as kind of like that, like The Sims, where it's like, okay, I don't see these as real people. It's really just like, it's just kind of, they're there. And it's of course like a metaphor for how our world, and everything that's kind of happened throughout the years and something like that. So that's what I saw it as.
No, okay, so you had seen it as that. Was that a bad thing to you? Like,
no, I didn't mind it, because within the context of the movie, like once you figure out like who Jennifer Lawrence is, who Javier Bardem is, then you're like, okay, well, everyone else is kind of irrelevant as a character because it's really focusing more on those two main characters. So it didn't bother me in any way.
That's the thing
that they weren't really people.
To bounce off what you said, that's literally, like, you said that amazingly, because that's exactly what I'm trying to go for, too, when I try to defend it to Alan. Because, Alan, when you say things, because I'm not, like, for one, have you noticed, I didn't disagree with you when you say certain things, like, yeah, like, you know, these characters, like, you say character wholeheartedly, it ain't no fucking character, people just do shit, and then shit happens, and then, blah, you know? Yeah. But the reason why is because that in itself is the obstacle. Like, everything that's happening in that house, all these people randomly showing up, they're not characters, they're character. Like, they are all, the character is the obstacle. The antagonist is the obstacle. Basically, when everything happens, there's a certain thing, and it's a metaphor, but something breaks in a room, and Javier Bardem goes absolutely nuts. And I'm going to tell you, like, that was basically, you know, an Adam and Eve thing. And that's all I'm going to tell you as far as that goes, and I won't tell you the rest of the whole thing.
Are we spoiling? Is it spoiler talk?
I mean, we did say one spoiler.
That practically spoiled, like, the whole premise. Yeah. It kind of leaves little to the imagination for the potential viewer to watch it.
And then, once again, this is way older than Baby Driver. You know, I mean, like, this came out, like, in August. It's hard to
spoil this movie, because it's just... Anyway, continue.
No, well, because the thing is, like, without the spoilers, there's nothing to review, because this movie is just so fucking random. It's like, it's impossible. And if you guys care about this movie, you would have seen already. If you guys haven't, then you're not going to watch it. You know, I mean, hopefully we can make you watch it by just telling you how good or how bad it is. Because Alan hating it so much, I think, honestly, like, you're selling me on the hate. I want to know why you hate it.
Fuck Red Robot?
What did you say?
Man! Okay, can we talk about that? Okay, so
go ahead.
The thing about Jennifer Lawrence, I used to love Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence used to be like what Michael Fassbender was to Ally. But she did too many shitty fucking movies in a row. I'm like, I can't like you anymore.
Well, just two movies?
He didn't like the photos either. It was a disappointment to him.
What's up?
I was making a joke about celebrity.
For sure. Anyway, so yeah, it just got to the point where I can't support any of her movies anymore. I'm done with Jennifer Lawrence, especially after this. It's one of those things where in the movie she honestly has one facial reaction the entire time. It's like,
oh, the Get Out face.
Yeah, that's her facial reaction in the entire fucking movie.
That was my reaction.
My reaction is mostly just to mix the board. But the thing about it is just she starts off with questioning what the fuck is going on the entire time as a rational being, as the audience of why are these people in my room? What is your craziness? Why are you so obsessed with this? When the movie does its fucking telltale turn after they fuck, she continues to have that, but no longer in the context of a rational human being, but a context of a person that understands what's going on. The problem is, at this point, the audience has no fucking idea what's going on, nothing to really grasp onto, because the movie no longer becomes a movie. It becomes its own separate, like, tornado of bullshit, just so it could feel the need to continue its metaphorical hard-on, so that it can continue to be like a fucking art film, where it doesn't need to tell you anything. It just does things, and her questioning no longer questions it like the audience of why the fuck did it go from World War II to the Afghan War to them eating my fucking baby. She's just questioning it in the context of someone that understands what's going on. And at that moment, I was just yelling for the fucking movie to be over.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, the movie ended right afterwards, so it's almost like that's a good thing in itself too. But I mean,
holy shit.
For me though, dude, like when that starts happening, okay, actually, before you even continue, like Allie, what'd you feel about the ending? Because I mean, especially with what you just said.
Well, again, it's all a really interesting take on the Bible. Like, it is a depiction, Aronofsky's weird freaking depiction of the Bible. And everything leading up to it, even the crazy parts, I totally understand, because, like, it's kind of how it was. After Adam and Eve, decided to take that apple, the world was pretty much in disarray. And then, of course, Jesus is born. Oh my God, this is great! The new Messiah. Oh man, he is he's terrible. Let's go and kill him. So of course, to sacrifice him, like it all parallels with like the Bible, and what they were saying is like, there's peace, and then there was craziness, and then there's peace again, and then there's more craziness, and then like it's just like the ending was different, because then it's like almost like, okay. If we're gonna spoil it, we're on spoilers pretty much.
Yep.
Well, then we're gonna let's just try to start all over again, because it's Javier Bardem. He's either God, he could be the devil. Not really clear in that aspect, but basically throughout the movie, he's like writing down. Oh, I have an idea for my, for writing whatever, because he's a writer.
Sure.
Basically, it's a euphemism for the 10 Commandments. So when things go to crap, things that are like typical things that he okay, let me put this rule down. He's basically making the 10 Commandments through all of this. So then the next time he can redo it over, which he does, that's the end of the movie, is that, okay, let's try doing this again. Maybe I can get the world right this time.
Yeah.
So it's just like going over and over again.
And then when the metamorphosis of Cain and Abel and the death of, I don't know if it was Cain or Abel.
Cain was struck down, so it was able to decide.
Yeah. So when Cain dies, it gets to a point too where like he's everyone's gathered around the table and he basically says like, yo, like we're breathing, this is life. Those tears are life. Death is life. Like this is a good thing. We had to go through this to get to a good spot. And then right after that happens, the movie gets calm, and it turns into like fuck, like and this is a situation where as far as story and as far as like being linear, this is something that you would probably like at this point because it did get calmer and they did start doing some character development where I was like, you know what. Yeah. Metaphors aside, this movie is now telling its own story. Now I'm like, okay, if you don't know about the Bible, this is where the movie starts to make sense. Sure. But then he does something else where it's a metaphor, and I'm like, oh, now we're back to craziness. And then the movie was like, you know what? You stayed this long, fuck it. And it turned into like a fever dream. And it's like people are going crazy, destroying the house. It became a music video.
Yeah, I love Metallica was playing somewhere.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more Twista, but yeah, everybody in the crowd getting tipsy. No, but things were crazy. But the one thing that pissed me off during this is, you hit the nail right in the fucking head, dude. The only thing I don't like about this is that fucking face. I'm sorry, and here's the thing: she acted her ass off still, so I will give her points for aside from that fucking stupid look. She did way better than Daniel Kaluuya in fucking Get Out. Because Get Out, that's the only thing that motherfucker did was look up, always looking everywhere with his fucking eyes open, But this, at least she's like screaming, crying, and like, get out! And she's fucking like losing her, Hey, it's funny, she says get out, and just make Get Out reference.
We all laughed at that.
No one laughed, motherfucker.
I laughed my ass off. I don't care what anyone says, man.
No,
but this is the sequel to Get Out, man.
But the thing is like, one thing I liked about this movie and the metaphors is like because with Get Out, I think the whole idea with Daniel Kaluuya like not reacting so much is so you as the audience are also supposed to be shocked. His reaction is supposed to be your reaction, and this movie, her reaction is supposed to be our reaction. When she's like, "What the fuck, get out!" and you were complaining about that, Alan, about like, well, why is she always confused? And it's like, well, Alan's supposed to be us because when she's confused, not knowing what the fuck's going on. The thing is, the movie's trying to tell you, yo, this is supposed to be weird. This is supposed to be not cool. Yeah. So we want you to be uncomfortable, Alan, because that makes you be scared for the next scene. But she did act after this, and I thought that was cool. But then when everything happens at the end, she doesn't stop doing this. There's parts where she's not screaming, she's not crying, she's just doing that face, and then she gets to the fucking, and I hate this, and it was a typical horror movie shit, and maybe it was a metaphor in itself too, I don't know. But her trying to call the cops. There's a death in the fucking house. She doesn't call the cops. And then when she does try to call the cops, it's too late because Javier Bardem left her. She's in the house alone with the fucking killer. And everybody knows the killer's still there. But yet, everything's fine. And then she calls the cops. Something happens. She gets distracted constantly. Someone's like, wait, what was that? Oh, sorry.
Fucking metaphor for the something make up Earth Chan bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it was a metaphor for the Earth not actually revolving around the moon or the sun. It was about Earth revolving around the galaxy, all right? It's about cosmic love and attention that our creator...
See, the thing is, okay, when you understand what the hell's going on with this, you no longer question anything that's going on in the movie, and as a result, the movie just becomes about a bunch of home videos that are just spliced together. Like the first part is like the long boring part, and then the second part is the clip show that is the rest of the family vacation. This is just a long family vacation in this weird fucking crazy house. This is a fucking season of American Horror Story done in one fucking movie. Like if you do understand the metaphor, that's all it becomes is spot the fucking metaphor. Try to spot the metaphor. If you have no fucking idea what's going on in this movie, this is a movie about a bunch of crazy people to a bunch of nonsense. Like, if you have no idea what this fucking metaphor is, never fucking watch this movie. And if you're listening to this review, you're probably never going to, but it's one of those things where how the fuck did people not walk out of this sooner? Like, when we were doing this, the people walking out of this movie, I don't fucking blame them. Because people should walk out of this fucking movie.
God damn. What would you rate this?
Motherfuck it.
Damn! I think that's his first fucking he's ever given.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even give that to Jumanji, and that ruined that shit of my childhood. Because at least that had like a moment or two of fun. This was the biggest waste of time, and what makes me more angry is this was my idea. Because I said it like the start of the day, like, hey, let's watch Mother. It'll be great. It's gonna be some trash. We'll all have a great time, right? And everyone's like, yeah, let's watch it. We ended up watching it. It was just, oh my god, I'm so mad.
I am so surprised.
I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. But Allie, like, what'd you give this?
Oh man, this really is one of those movies that either you love it or you hate it. There is no in between.
Yeah.
Like, it's really that divisive with people. I totally get where you're coming from, Alan. Totally get it where people in the chat, they're talking about how it's terrible or whatever. I totally get where you guys are coming from. Me personally, I've always had a fascination with the Bible. I'm not religious, but like I've always found the stories very interesting. So having this weird take where I've always found the Bible kind of weird. So having this like really crazy take on the Bible, I'm like, yes, this is this is great. So I'm giving it a buy it because I would personally buy it. So yeah, I'm sorry, but I really did love how crazy this was. And yeah, there are some parts like what you talked about with after the brothers, one of them killed. Cain, was it Cain? Who, whatever? After he was killed and they go off to the hospital and they just leave. They just leave Jennifer Lawrence there in her house by herself while the other brother is still out somewhere. And I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like,
metaphor.
Yeah. But still, I'm like, wow, like on at least a practical level, like I would not leave my wife in the house by herself in the middle of nowhere, but this dude's still running loose. Maybe he's less than a mile away and he could come back. Heck no. But still, I instantly want to watch this movie over again. So yeah, this is definitely a buy it for me.
Man.
Where I'm coming from. Oh, go ahead, gotcha.
No, I was gonna say, just from you guys describing this, I kind of wish they went full out with all the crazy stuff in the Bible. Like UFOs possibly are in there. They talk about fucking unicorns in the Bible. Like, I'm not joking. Look that shit up. They mention unicorns. Like, I kind of wish he went out with the actual crazy shit that's in there.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm surprised. It probably wasn't there, just behind the corners of some other bullshit.
There's a little porcelain unicorn in the background. You had to look
pretty sure there was, man. I'm never going to watch the movie to find out.
And the thing is, this might not be all the commandments, because at the end of the movie, they do something where it's like, listen, this is just a repeat. Like, this movie, we're telling one part of our story, but the movie and the first thing you see, the first frame and the last frame, combined tells you that yes, like this could be a prequel, this could be a sequel to something else. Sure. This is a story that can be retold countless of times, or at least 9 more times for the rest of the commandments.
Yeah,
so
whatever.
You might see another one. Maybe the next one be brother, father, sister, aunt Marie. I don't know the
uncle, brother, sister, mother.
But for me, one thing that really bothered me too is, because last night we were talking about this, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a bite. I fucking love this movie, but I had time to think about this. One thing, I know it's probably immature or whatever, but it's really like kind of, I can't get over it. But like this shit, you guys stick to your rules.
Oh yeah, whatever the fuck.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I literally did a shitload of research, probably more than I should have. I mean, like I don't have a lot of free time.
Tell him. What is that yellow stuff that she drinks throughout the entire movie?
Literally from Darren Aronofsky, he said, "It's what you want it to be."
Exactly. It's perfect.
Yeah. All right, I got it.
Fuck that.
I know where Darren's coming from. I'm gonna do some Julian shit and see between the lines.
Oh Lord!
The artist and the director said it's ecstasy, y'all. Pure ecstasy.
Yo, okay. The funniest joke. So she's just pouring this yellow powder in, and Ganja's Ganja was chilling with it, but he wasn't watching the movie. And Nandi's like, man, I wonder what that stuff is. And I'm like, hey Ganja, name me the first drug that comes to your mind when you think of yellow powder. And he goes, heroin. So as far as we're concerned, that's heroin.
Yeah. Ruthless is saying, yeah, the yellow stuff is soul juice.
Like, she drinks it. It's supposed to help her for something. It never gets explained. It never gets brought up. That's a good way to sum up Mother. Never gets explained. Never gets brought up. Never gets.
The thing is like, and to look between the lines, what I think it is maybe it's something to help her, I don't know, deal with the stress, some kind of anxiety medicine, whatever the fuck. But it doesn't. The fact that the movie doesn't explain that. That's a huge pet peeve I have with any kind of movies or video games. That's what I fucking hate about Treyarch and their goddamn storylines and their zombie modes. And it's something I hate about Star Wars. Well, this big fucking universe, but then all you see is 4 fucking characters constantly. I'm sorry, I know I bring it up all the time, but Star Wars needs to get their fucking shit together, man. Like,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that's the thing that always just drives me nuts. So like with this, and I looked it up, man. I spent so much time. There's no answer for this, and there's no answer for a couple things too. Like
she was drinking the Force, Nick.
Yeah, she could be because
the Force. She's making lightsaber crystals in her heart. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, but no, man, and you know, I gotta say the Javier Bardem and like he's acting a certain way, and she's like, "He's
great in the movie. He's great. He's probably the best part of this fucking movie. Like Jennifer Lawrence is sitting there acting like the fucking wall that she's painting, but he's actually acting exactly how he needs to act, as essentially a bored god, or in situations where it's like he only has to say a few words and he's actually able to get across what's going on. Jennifer Lawrence is fucking awful in this.
I disagree with that, but I will say that the way they were written, like whether or not this is metaphorical movie, whatever the case may be, I really fucking hate when these characters say things to each other and then they don't respond correctly. Like there's a part where she basically tells him like, "Yo, you can't even fuck me," and she just saw a dead body today. She just saw a fucking head split open and all this horrible stuff and random people coming in the house and her arguing with everybody and then him yelling at her and screaming at her. And then, for some reason, just like what's wrong with Alien Covenant that Ellie always hates, but man, blood and guts and gore and death, that is so sexy, isn't it? We gotta fuck. And
okay, it was less of like, hey, let's do it sexy time, and more of like her basically questioning him being a man.
Yeah, and he, I guess, rapes her, and she's into it. And then the next scene, we don't know how much time has passed, but she basically turns around and says, "I'm pregnant," and he goes, "Oh, great." And then that's it. And then we move on to 9 months, I guess, later, where everything goes.
There's more going on with that because he's kind of shocked, like, oh, great.
Yeah, he runs around with
his
his
dick on his mind, and then he runs around the house naked and gets a pen.
Which is hilarious. Made me laugh my ass off. You know, this movie's supposed to be kind of creepy and everything. She just got raped and she's okay with it. I'm like, I don't know what to think. And then he's running around sillily with his dick flopping, looking for a pen and paper, and then she doesn't question it. She's like, oh, it's funny. He's gonna write. What the fuck is he doing? She doesn't care. It's like things like that piss me off.
I wouldn't say it was rape, but
yeah, it was forceful until she was okay with it.
Yeah, which
is like really crazy foreplay. I don't know.
I mean,
that is not foreplay.
If this was Aziz, then it'd be like, oh my god, he raped her.
Allie,
she was just mad in the moment. She was mad in the moment, but then she was like, oh, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Allie,
no, it's a little different. I just watched something about rape. All right. And
what the fuck are you watching?
It was an incest rape.
Well, no, it was not. Thank God. No, but there is a difference.
There is, but that was still forced. That was still forced, and until she was okay with it, but she could have easily not been okay with it, and that would have been rape.
But she was in the movie.
Maybe this drink was Cosbyism, you know, like maybe
he was drinking a lot of it.
Man,
I'm going to fuck you,
Alan. I want to disagree with you so bad because Hank Azaria is now looking at his career getting lost for that exact same reason.
Who?
That comedian, Hank Azaria.
Another comedian. They got another one.
This guy that does The Simpsons, I think. I'm thinking of the one that won for the Golden Globes, the little Indian dude.
Oh, Aziz Ansari.
Aziz, yes, I confused him with the other.
I called them Hank Azaria.
Yeah, Hank Ansari.
I know. I need to.
Ansari somewhere that's like, what did I do?
No, he's a voice actor. I completely forgot him with something, but he basically went through the same situation you're talking about, where the girl was kind of like reluctant at the beginning, but they did some sexual stuff, but she put an end to it halfway through. And she's still trying to accuse him of rape.
Okay, hey, for all the folks out there, if a girl's reluctant, step the fuck away.
Motherfuckers don't know body language, brother.
Reluctant means she doesn't want to fuck you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, when you actually look into it, she was nonverbal the whole time.
No, she said verbal and nonverbal. I read that.
No, you gotta. I actually listened to the whole story about it, and apparently
that's true. She did kind of mumble and stuff. I remember.
Well, not even her mumbling. Like, she was actually hoping that he read her mind through some of it, and then when he actually, when she actually was like, "No, stop! I don't want to do this anymore." He stopped, and they watched TV. But she's kind of using that same excuse you did, like, "Oh, you should have known." Yeah, Hank Azaria is the voice of Apu. That's who I confused him. That's even more.
Oh, you I died for a second. That's fucking racist, man. Yeah, Roger had a point right now. Just looking.
I confused the white guy with the Indian dude, bro.
The white guy doing an Indian accent with an actual Indian person.
Oh, the Indian guy with the guy that plays the Indian.
And that is a review of Mother.
I'm sorry, but my point is, be verbal, bro.
Yes. Oh fuck.
Oh, that shit was so fucking funny.
I just fucking shit all over my point out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
you
great
really
way to
are.
start that point off, man.
Oh man, I'm trying to see what else is gonna be happening with the Aziz thing. 'Cause I don't want to say anything yet, but it's like we might talk about that on Saturday. I don't know, cause
Maybe.
basically what I'm waiting for. I'm actually waiting for a 5. I'm waiting for 5 sexual misconductors.
Well,
And
so far it's only been the one chick, and everyone kind of seems to be getting on her, and like, because she tried to use the feminist movement Me Too, but she's also trying to remain anonymous and not actually go forward the story more. So everyone's kind of accusing her, just trying to, I guess, prop up her story and trying to use it as a way to get some kind of clout within the movement. And I think there was actually a chick on, I think, ABC News or NBC that actually went off on her about how she's actually putting the movement at risk because of that.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that, folks. But
Yeah,
and as far as the movie goes, just to end the shit off though, yeah, man, like I give this a rented. I feel like, yeah, if you come across it, it's like $4, get the shit, have fun, yeah, get somebody like Alan to watch it with you so you can see how mad they get.
Oh god.
But that's gonna be it for us tonight, man. It's been kind of a long show and everything like that. People, we are gonna be leaving right now. Friday, the gaming show. Ganja Guru, why don't you tell them about what you're gonna do, son?
Well, guys, usually with the Gamer Show, that's on our beautiful Midnight Chat Attack Facebook page. We do it every Friday. We try to aim for 7:30 CST time, but if we can't if we can't get 7:30 CST time, because usually setup takes a while, or the game's not cooperating with me, or my computer's just flicking me off during the whole process, we always try to get it done at least around 8:30, 9 o'clock. So just make sure to check on the Midnight Chat Attack Facebook page. We're going to be doing Dead by Daylight for the Untitled Video Game Show that's coming up. Alan doesn't have the game, nor does Nick. So if any of you toasties actually have the game and want to play in multiplayer, let me know. We can set up a small thing, because I know the multiplayer game has where you can play as humans and zombies, and I would like for either us to play the zombies or you guys play the humans and just chase each other down, have a good time for about an hour, and also just bullshit and have fun. You know, just kind of what we were about on the MCA.
Oh, yes, people. So that's going to be basically about it, y'all. So there's only one thing left to do, sir. And what is that?
3, 2, 1, attack!